Yes, so Hairless here. Today we are back with VoicePlay. Thank you to Juliana for this patron request. This is It Ain't Me, and they're featuring a new face and voice to the channel, John Pinto Jr. This is from 2017, so it's an older lineup. We have Earl Elkins Jr., whom we've not seen on this channel for a while. The original song, It Ain't Me, it's by Kygo and Selena Gomez. I didn't know it. It has 645 million views on YouTube. Perhaps I should know it. Regardless, I went and listened to it a few times. I was not the biggest fan at first, but I've been listening to it on repeat a little bit and it's grown on me. It's sort of catchy. Kygo, at least from what I know of his music, uses a lot of technology. He has his own sound. I'll play a clip from the original song actually, just so we can hear.
I'll take with me the Polaroids and the memories, but you know
So let's see what VoicePlay do with it.
Dream we were sipping whiskey neat, highest floor at the Bowery, nowhere's high enough. Somewhere along the lines we stopped seeing eye to eye. You were staying out all night and I had enough. No, I don't wanna know where you've been or where you're going, but I know I won't be home, you'll be on your own. Who's gonna walk you through the dark side of the morning? Who's gonna rock you when the sun won't let you sleep? Who's waking up to drive you home when you're drunk and all alone? Who's gonna walk you through the dark side of the morning? Well, it ain't me. No, 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 Bowery, no, 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 asking me where, oh, and I go where, oh, it ain't me. No, 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 Bowery, no, 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 asking me where, oh, and I go.
Well, really great job with that kind of pulsating effect. That's what I was alluding to when I said Kygo uses technology. All artists do, but you know, it's much more reliant on it. That type of sound. I will play the thing in its entirety and then we'll do the analysis afterwards. But just a couple of thoughts before I forget. So obviously there are studio effects applied here to their voices. That would essentially be impossible to achieve through live a cappella singing. But what they've gone for here, in terms of arrangement, almost sounds exactly the same. And apart from the really heavy effects applied to John Pinto Jr.'s voice there, in the backing vocals in Earl Elkins Jr. and in Ellie, we can hear the subtle effects that are applied. Especially with bringing off the note at the end of each one. Almost like a mini crescendo, getting louder and then suddenly coming off. Really cool effects, really tight sound as well. John Pinto Jr. Now, it's got me thinking because his voice, I really, really like it. And he has a unique voice. It goes without saying, he has a very good voice. And it just kind of got me thinking, I don't really have a point here. I'd like to know your thoughts, so comment down below if you agree or disagree with me, or you can say, Sir Hairless, what are you on about? But it got me thinking, there are so many singers out there with good voices. Think about all the singers you get on talent shows, guest singers, all that kind of thing. So many people with unbelievable voices, but a lot of them do sound similar to each other. Then you have the voices that are unique. You hear it and you go, that is that person. No one really sounds like them. And I don't think there's an exact science to it, like the better your voice is, the less unique it will be or anything like that. There are a handful of singers out there who are at the top in terms of how unique their voice is and how good it is, you know, the best of everything. But it just kind of got me thinking about which I prefer. Again, there's no right or wrong answer. I don't even know myself, but I'm erring towards a unique voice. When someone has a unique voice, it's different to anything you've heard before. I don't know. I just think there's a certain charm to it, a charisma to it. And John Pinto Jr. has a voice like this. If anything, his voice is actually reminding me a little bit of Mitch Grassi from Pentatonix.
You were staying out all night.
So naturally high, quite effeminate in a way, and in its range. He could blend really, really well with female singers, unlike a lot of guys. His ability to use the chest voice blending seamlessly into his head voice in those upper ranges. And that leads on to the final point before we carry on, which is another song this immediately reminded me of. So these three guys, Earl Elkins Jr., Ellie, and John Pinto, they all have unique voices, and in a similar way. They have very high voices. Ellie more towards the rock tenor side of things, as people like to say. Earl Elkins Jr., I just always go on about how piercing his voice is. It's so unique. I think it's such a great asset to a group like this. And John Pinto is kind of similar to him in that regard as well. Now, if you know the song Some Nights by Fun.
Some nights I stay up, cashing in my bad luck.
He has the same type of voice. Moreover, it's the same chord progression and the same key as well. So as soon as they started singing, I was immediately just reminded of that.
Ooh, ooh. Some nights I stay up, cashing in my bad luck.
It's funny how our brains work, isn't it? Not so much any analysis there. Let's carry on with the song and we'll do the analysis afterwards.
I had a dream, we were back to 17. Summer nights and the liberties, never growing up. Oh, I'll take with me the Polaroids and memories. But you know I'm gonna leave behind the worst of us.
Who's gonna walk you through the dark side of the morning? Who's gonna rock you when the sun won't let you sleep? Who's waking up to drive you home when you're drunk and all alone? Who's gonna walk you through the
crazy
dark
voice.
side of the morning? Well, it ain't me. No, 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 no. It ain't me. No, no. Who's gonna walk you through the dark side of the morning?
It ain't me.
It ain't me. Oh. Who's gonna walk you through the dark side of the morning? Who's gonna rock you when the sun won't let you sleep? Who's waking up to drive you home when you're drunk and all alone? Who's gonna walk you through the dark side of the morning? Well, it ain't me. No, 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 worry, no, 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 ask me where, oh, yeah, no, where, oh, it ain't me. No, 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 worry, no, 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 asking me, oh, yeah, no, where, oh. Who's gonna walk you through the dark side of the morning? It ain't me.
Well, there we go. That was quite a chilled one, actually. I think Kygo, a lot of his music is quite chilled. I remember when I was in school, as in high school, not college or university, one of my good friends was obsessed with Kygo, and I used to listen to Kygo just kind of through them because they'd always play it out loud. Very much chilled summer music, I think. Quite uplifting. But yeah, it was a fun one as well. Well, let's go back through it because there were some cool things in there, as always with VoicePlay. I'll start by saying that this arrangement to me seemed like strictly 5-part, which for VoicePlay, considering most of their videos are, well, studio recordings, where they have layering, multi-tracking in order to produce the best sound, often to accompany the very interesting videos they do. This arrangement, though, is much more kind of honoring of the fact that it's 5-part. And naturally, having 5 parts instead of 8 or 9 or 10, like you might have with multi-tracking or layering, can sound a little bit more exposed or empty at times, but they also have the studio effects applied. So it's a nice mix of raw acapella and a modern studio take on it. I think it's quite a unique sound overall. We've spoken about the introduction and how it reminded me of the other song, so I'll go past that.
I had a dream, we were sipping whiskey neat.
It's funny how I was saying it seemed strictly 5-part, coming at it from the angle of one voice per person, because here we see 3 of them singing. Melody, and then the 2 backing parts. Well, there are actually 3 backing parts underneath the melody, so we're hearing 4 voices, but seeing 3 people sing.
I had a dream, we were sipping whiskey neat.
And those 3 parts there on that last phrase, having that extra part in there just adds harmonic depth to the sound, makes it sound a bit more full. So that's interesting. And we do have multi-tracking or additional layering happening. And let's not twist my words. I'm completely fine with this. If anything, I actually prefer it when you have these studio versions. I get many, many comments saying, oh, artists shouldn't be performing this if it's different live. Well, as long as they're not saying this is a strictly live performance, there's no issue. I just really don't think there's any issue in it.
Somewhere along the lines we stopped seeing eye to eye.
We get the sustained bass coming through, not too low yet, and of course Lane providing the simple beat, but that's how the beat comes in. John Pinto's voice, he doesn't use much vibrato. Let's listen to that phrase again.
Somewhere along the lines we stopped seeing eye to eye. You were staying out all night and I had enough.
No vibrato at all in the whole phrase, and that suits his style of voice so well. It's a piercing sound, quite akin to Earl Elkins Jr. I can see why they got John Pinto here. They're singing in the same key as the original song, and the original song, Selena Gomez, she's a woman. And also in terms of his singing style, the texture of his sound, the timbre, it's more suited than another high singer they often have in there, DJ Young, for example. If you enjoy these videos or find them helpful, please consider supporting me. Patreon has a bunch of exclusive benefits, behind the scenes videos, additional reaction content, Q&A videos, and more. For a one-time donation, you can donate me a hot chocolate at the Buy Me a Coffee link, or become a YouTube member for these groovy emojis and membership badges. And a huge thank you to these lovely people on the screen now. In terms of the arrangement, we've got a lot of oohs in the background, not many other vocals. So in that regard, Lane's part is the most interesting, providing the most variety. Just listen to the little extra bits he does.
No, I don't wanna know where you been or where you going.
3 different sounds. Sound 1, sound 2, with a little click and a little tss. So things are slowly building up.
I know I won't be home, you'll be on your own. Who's gonna walk you through the dark side of the morning?
Just as we see things are building up, they decide to reduce everything. I like the video as well. It's one of these almost like a behind the scenes type video. Black and white as well, just adds a bit of variety.
Who's gonna walk you through the dark side of the morning? Who's gonna rock you when the sun won't let you sleep? Who's waking up to drive you home when you're drunk and all alone? Who's gonna...
That's high. It's not like a chorus level high, but again, it's how he sings. That's not full head voice from him there.
Drive you home when you're drunk and all alone.
You can hear elements of the chest voice in there, so he's going high but with a blended voice because he can. Blended voice, more power to the sound. And weirdly, because there's more chest in there, you know, chest is lower, head is higher, you'd think the sound would be more grounded and sound lower, but to me it almost sounds higher than it actually is. Maybe that's a bit of a paradox. Then we get into the cool bit.
Well, it ain't me. No, 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 power ain't no, 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 asking me where, and I go where,
Not too much to say about the arrangement there. It's mostly the effect that's been applied that's the real wow factor. The arrangement is just Jeff and then the backing vocals. Oompa, 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 oompa.
me. No, 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 power ain't no, 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 asking.
And Jeff's bass, very percussive, like a dum type sound. Lane, I'm sure, is doing the same thing for a kind of double bass pedal type sound there. The subtle hi-hat type sounds as well in between. Tss, tss. And some clicks as well, I believe.
Go where, it ain't me. No, 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 power ain't no, 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 asking me.
Beat becomes more consistent. Overall, though, the arrangement not really changing. So from what we've seen so far, this arrangement, it's not overly complicated. They don't do any crazy things really, at least not yet, when thinking about the harmony, the structure, that kind of thing. And I do believe this arrangement is about 1, the effects applied to their voices here in true Kygo style, and 2, to show off John Pinto's voice. It's a unique voice, super well suited for this song. It's a modest video as well. There's no need to take our attention away and point it towards other things. Ellie then takes over the melody. We get some differences in the arrangement.
I had a dream, we were back to 17, summer nights in the Liberty.
And Lane is going on a mad one there in the background.
I had a dream, we were back to...
Kind of what you'd imagine if you said to someone, mimic a beatboxer, who'd be like, you know, that kind of thing. Sorry, I did not do that justice at all. I can only imagine how complicated that is, but you know, like the broken record type effect. Then we do get a significant change, and that serves as a transitionary handover from Ellie to Earl.
Never growing up. Whoa, I'll take with me the Polaroids and memories, but you know I'm gonna leave behind.
In the background there, the... Again, it's just so similar to Fun Some Nights.
Oh, sorry to leave, but I had to go. Who the fuck was it?
It's fun. And that other song is very aptly called Fun. I liked the end of Earl's phrase here.
And the worst of us.
A dissonant note, the chord that we have, a G chord. And then Earl's note. creating the 7th chord. He's not using vibrato again like John Pinto wasn't. Straight tone. Because they have this higher up voice, it's just this pure piercing sound. Tuning dead on, it just makes me go, "Pwah."
Behind the worst of us.
Who's gonna walk you through the dark side of the morning? Who's gonna rock you when the sun won't let you sleep?
Lane here, I think, again, has the real significant changes with these, what's the word, more guttural sounds? Maybe that's not the right word. But Jeff's bass as well, becoming more rhythmic now. Move forward a bit, and then we move into this homophonic moment.
It ain't me, no, no. Who's gonna walk?
Nice chromatic rise from Jeff there. Bum, bum, bum. And this unity, the power that comes with homophony. No surprise then that just after that, everything comes down, becomes a bit softer.
You through the dark side of the morning.
Still homophonic though, so I like how they've used homophony for both this powerful bit and then the softer bit, one after each other. Then we get the surprising bit that is quite peculiar.
It ain't me. It ain't me. Who's gonna walk you through the
Or maybe unexpected is the better word. It's just completely different to the song. The harmony changes as well. Very a cappella, the layering up. Again, building up to John Pinto Jr. to have the center stage with this climactic high note. And this is very high now.
Who's gonna
That's an A at the top, which is the highest note your typical chorus that is expected to sing.
Who's gonna walk you through the dark side of the morning? Who's gonna rock you when the sun won't let you sleep?
And after this climax, as we move towards the end, we now have more homophony, even in the verses as well.
Who's waking up to drive you home when you're drunk and all alone? Who's
And because Ellie and Earl are moving in parallel motion with the melody, naturally you will have some slightly more peculiar parts in there in terms of harmony. That's just what happens when you have parts moving up and down together like that. And I like the little silly quips in the video.
gonna walk you through the dark side of
Jeff with the toilet paper still on his shoe.
the rock you in the sun?
Jeff telling Lane not to play the drums. Lane, mate, you don't need to play. You've got them all in here. Various other things in there. Always nice to see. And final homophony to finish us off. It was really Earl's part that stood out to me because it doesn't move except for one time. Listen out for that note.
Who's gonna walk you through the dark side of the morning? It ain't me.
And then a unison ending just to really show us that it's all over. Yeah, overall, that was a fun one. And charming is the word I'm going to use, kind of all things considered, as I mentioned earlier. John Pinto, what a unique voice, great voice, big fan of it. Perfect for a song like this, especially alongside Earl Elkins Jr. And yeah, nothing too crazy with that arrangement. I would say perhaps this is because it's older VoicePlay. I don't know too much of older VoicePlay, and some older VoicePlay I have seen, they have some mental arrangements in there. Still always nice to see older VoicePlay, Jeff without his long swooping hair. And I think it's the first time I've seen VoicePlay in the studio. Let me know what you thought of this one, if you knew the original song as well, and thank you as always for watching. Would appreciate a like, a share, subscribe if you haven't, and I will see you next time.